entire Stalker force all the way back to this 4th. It seems like he's really focused on keeping this 4th here and transitioning a bit possibly. I was thinking that he might try to blink in the main and get those lurkers out of position because there weren't that many Zerg units just from the pressure that he had, but it seems like he's definitely going to go into this transition of, you know, all the Twilight Council upgrades as well as Storm and just, you know, attack upgrades.
It's really actually quite scary. Like, if he's going to have Psy Storm, a bunch of Blink Stalkers, and a bunch of Charge Lots, that really messes with the AI of lurkers. And, of course, you know, Charge Lots in general are just so strong right now, but you know, the lurkers actually want your units to not, like, close on them. It kind of makes the lurker spikes go haywire. They stop. They start, like, kind of crisscrossing, hitting the Zealots more, which you want them to hit, so your Stalkers can stay alive during the battle. So
exactly.
It's a scary army. But if we see a nice spread here and Rogue just turtles, kind of like this, this is going to be incredibly hard to actually break, and I don't think he has the army that can break it.
Lurkers do a lot of damage, and when you have this many already, I think this is upwards of like 11, 12. The only problem is that he's really lacking on the upgrades. Right now it's +2 to +0.
Ooh.
He's about to get +1, and here we go. Deer's going to engage.
Man, look at this. The Zealots are actually getting chewed up by those Hydras. Yeah, this is not a position you can engage. This is a good defense by Rogue. Got to be careful of those Hydras.
Yeah,
but,
I don't think he wants to be poking with the Hydras, allowing the +2 Stalkers to trade with them on the right side. Just stay back with your Lurkers. Oh!
Yeah, that was
man.
a little bit overambitious there. And a nice Psy Storm goes down. Softens up some of these units, but yeah, this is really hard for him to actually engage upon.
Oh, the Protoss army is just melting if he comes close to those Lurkers.
Has some Psy Storm, so he definitely can get a few Lurker kills here.
Allowing the Immortals to tank and do a bit of damage as well to the Lurkers. He's trying to move in now, but not sure if it's going to work. Those Lurkers in the back, still so many of them left alive.
Yeah. I don't think that I don't think you can break something like this with what he has. I think you actually need Disruptors or Colossus to properly break it. I've heard people talking about using High Templars against Zerg a lot more now, but in a situation like this, it doesn't look like that's gonna break him, right?
Well, it looks like Rogue is just gonna trade here without the Lurkers, feeling like he has enough army in general without it.
Yeah, that
kind
didn't
of
work well.
All right, I mean, but there's no reason to do that when you have these Lurkers.
Yeah,
you should fight with your Lurkers, right?
I want to see him play like a very defensive lurkery situation right here, because this is just like a bunch of ground units that are being made that don't really have splash damage. Like he has more Archons in here and stuff, and that's not really going to be that useful. Okay, this is nice. Rogue gets out of position with those lurkers.
Yeah, that was a big mistake. He pushed forward with 4 or 5 of those lurkers, trying to get a very close position, but he loses all of them. Nice lifts by the Phoenix, and it looks like Rogue is going to be broken.
Yep. I guess this non-stop pressure by Deer does get Rogue, but there were a few times right there and a couple minutes ago where Rogue walked forward with his lurkers, and I don't think he should have, to be honest. If you keep them burrowed underground and like spread out a bit, it's as we saw when he was just sitting still, Deer was being very cost inefficient trying to break them. Yeah. But as soon as he starts trying to move forward, that's when Deer's like, oh, bam, I got you. So we'll see if he's going to actually break all the way through. And, oh, very nice blink right there. He is absolutely going to kill him here.
Those poor Ravagers in the sky when they get lifted.
Yeah.
GG. Deer is going to take game number 1. And, yeah, I think it was mainly just due to Rogue kind of messing up his control in that last fight.
Deer definitely got ahead early on, for sure, especially when he sniped off that 4th hatchery. I thought that was a great move. But I felt like, yeah, Rogue with that defense, as soon as he put up the defense, I think he would have just continued to hold it. As we saw, like, you can't just keep making High Templars to try to storm those, I don't think. And
they need to get in range of the lurker shots in order to get your storms off.
Yeah,
So
it's a very messy business.
I think it's 3 storms. I'm not exactly sure.
I believe you're correct.
I play Terran now. I haven't been in this situation so much, but
It's
I'm
2
not-
or
I think
3
it's-
storms, and
it's
the thing
2
is you
or
can unburrow and move during them because Psy storms are slow.
Yeah, and Lickers burrow and unburrow really fast, so
Yeah.
you can get out of there, and you know, take
Yeah.
half damage.
I think he should have just sat back and gone into Hive, to be honest. Like, because when you have that Lurker defense, if you get up to Vipers, it becomes... Because, again, I think the way you normally are going to break, like, a very fortified Zerg position with Lurkers is probably going to be Robo units, and Vipers are good against that. So, I don't know. These are kind of like my guesses. We don't really know 100% how Legacy of the Void is going to be, but... so far, that's kind of my opinion of what a behind Zerg in that type of situation should do. Just kind of really sit still.
Yeah, I don't think moving forward 5 of your Lurkers to try to get that angle from the right side and then like get a surround with your other army units is the right idea there. Especially when a lot of those Lurkers were all very low.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see if Rogue can do a bit better here. Up in the top right of Orbital Shipyard, it is Deer.
And down here in the bottom left, in the red, the Zerg player losing that last one. It is Rogue from the generic Green Wings. Their last hope, I do believe, in this preseason. Morrow and SOS not here, and Travis went down. Rogue
I believe
also.
so. I believe you're correct
The
about
only
that.
other generic player here, I believe.
Yeah, they haven't really been that successful, to be honest. Taking a look at the SSL guys as well, like, I don't really see Jin Air there either. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Jin Air not
Trust is on CJ, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Not surprised that Trust is doing well, as Hero's on his team, and Hero seems to have the best build orders for Protoss so far.
If you're going to learn from the guy who's got it all figured out, you're going to be pretty good yourself.
Yeah, no doubt. There's definitely some players I'm excited about this year, like Sari. Because he's on SKT1. Like, it's only him in Innovation, right? So, like, he has some sick practice and, like, basically the best Terran you can learn from.
There's Dream over there as well, right?
Oh, wait, yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind. What am I even saying?
And I feel like they have someone else.
No.
It can't be right that SKT only has 3 Terrans.
No, I
right?
believe that's the case. Sari, Innovation, and Dream, I believe.
Huh. It's KT that had a lot of Terrans before Flash retired.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what KT is going to do next year, like in terms of Pro League.
I'm excited to
stuff.
see the finalized Pro League rosters. It's going to be an exciting season, no doubt. But taking a look at this game, nothing out of the ordinary. You know, it's pretty early in Legacy of the Void to say that, but you know, Adept into a Stargate, that's a really, really common opener. You know, the Stargate is just so powerful. Having an Oracle against Zerg that's... Even, like, if Zerg gets aggressive, the Stargate is great, and if they don't get aggressive, it's great. And it also keeps them a little bit honest about going into Mutalisks.
Yeah.
So, good things the Stargate does for you as Protoss.
I think that'll definitely become the standard. As you were saying, it's kind of already the standard here. This is just so annoying. Like, if you don't have anything here at the front, it's like, oh, you just got to deal with this Adept. It's always going to be there. Lings, your first unit that you get as a Zerg, are not going to do well against even one Adept.
Yeah.
You really just need Queens.
Yeah, seriously. Like, you need the Queens out there before even the drones a lot of the time. Like, look at the damage that guy did. He's, like, basically a scout, but he's killed, like, a Ling or two and 2 drones and forced lost mining time and the cancel of an extractor. Yeah. That adds up.
And scouted.
Yeah, absolutely. He basically knows what's going on. It does look like we're going to have Phoenix play once again. Seems like Deer has cleaned up his play a lot from last week, where he was trying to go 2 Stargate Phoenix. Definitely.
Yeah, that is pretty dirty. I got to clean that up for sure.
ByuN just kind of wrecked him when he was trying that, but the 1 Stargate, I guess Hero showed him the way with his games.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really surprise me that ByuN would wreck Deer, just going off of like what we saw in Heart of the Swarm, but everything is changing nowadays, so.
Certainly.
Deer could become the best Protoss in Legacy of the Void for all we know.
Hey, there was a point in Heart of the Swarm where he was.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That Season 3 into the global finals, he was just absolutely fantastic. And he's kind of started to have a comeback in the last 6 months, to be honest. Like, there's been better and better Deer games, Pro League and the individual leagues as well.
Yeah. Seems like Deer is doing a similar style to the Dust Towers game, just getting a lot of these units at the front, having your Mothership core in position with a nice pylon spread. Going to be very safe against anything, even if you do not have an Oracle. Well, at least very safe against Speedlings.
Yep. Right now, looks like just trying to get a little bit of harassment up, a little bit of bugginess with those Phoenixes, trying to get the lifts on these drones, but a few kills here and there. Charge on the way, definitely something we saw a lot from Hero, using those early charge lots and their newfound power.
Yeah. We're seeing Rogue heavily drawn up here to sustain these losses that just never seem to end when you are facing the Protoss.
Certainly. We thought they were good at killing drones before. Ooh.
This is a whole new level.
Oh, yeah. You wait till StarCraft 3 comes out, what
man.
Protoss is going to have.
They have like a trebuchet. They just shoot like an energy ball at your mineral line.
Oh, man.
Takes a while to get there, but you can't see it unless you have detection. It just like blows everything up. You're like, well, I don't know. I forgot detection. I guess I lose.
You should feel like that more often against Protoss, not just about DTs.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we do have a robe on the way. 11 roaches, so that's actually really good that he's making quite a few roaches. That's going to be something that helps out a lot against these charge lots. Of course, you want to utilize SimCity a little bit as well if you can go ahead and have some buildings kind of in between. The charge lots AI gets screwed up very, very quickly. Oops.
Oh, he misses that drone. That's just so juicy. You see that drone going over to make that fourth and you pick it up, you're like, aha.
Oh, that's one of the best feelings. You're
Feels
like,
so
ah,
good.
That's another 20 seconds out of that fourth base.
Yeah. Charge has complete. And it looks like Rogue does want to put on the pressure. He's stopped at 59 drones here, just making only units.
Oh, and he's actually going for a little attack that actually it looks like he doesn't even know about, because if he did, these Phoenixes would be like, okay, oh no, the Phoenixes start to come back and then stop. He's not really in position to defend this properly. If he had those Phoenixes back here, it would be a lot easier.
I don't think Chargelets alone can deal with this, to be honest. This is
It's a little bit scary.
like a very puny Protoss army right now. Only the pylons are trying to keep them alive here.
Yeah, and he is just raining down the corrosive bios to knock those out in a matter of seconds. Okay, now the Phoenixes do come back, so this is where it starts to get a little bit more messy for Rogue.
Yeah, especially now with an Immortal popping out. He's finally been able to hold this off very nicely. And these Ravagers, of course, not that fast, going to be picked up, and they're all going to be wiped out. And down goes Rogue's entire army.
Yeah, that was a pretty solid defense by Deer, considering he was out of position. That is as well as that could have gone for Rogue, and it didn't really go that well.
Yeah.
Like, the Phoenixes couldn't have been further away, and they couldn't have used more energy, really. They had used so much energy harassing that drone line.
Now Rogue kind of in an awkward spot here. He committed to an attack, delayed his Hydra Den for a while, was not really able to saturate that fourth base right away. He's going to do so now and go into that transition of lurkers. But I like this very heavy Phoenix count that he's got in the sky here, Deer, this time as well. It's going to just be a constant, annoying harass force. Even when he's going for the attack, a lot of lifts can be fantastic, as long as there's not too many Hydras.
Yeah, and like, how many Hydras can you really afford? I guess he's going to have to start supplementing a lot of Hydras into his army, which just costs him more money. And I mean, yeah, the Hydra is a good unit, but I have to agree with you. I love the fact that he has 7 Phoenixes still flying around. He's being very careful. He doesn't want to lose them. He's not going to waste them. They are not wasted supply. Unless we see an Ultralisk-based army come out, these things are really useful.
We do have a warp in here. It looks like Deer wants to put on the pressure. Half his army is at his building fourth base on the right side of the map, but he's just using this time to draw out the Hydras and pick them up.
Yeah, he's doing a very good job there. Actually comes in with the rest of his army right now. Does he have enough to actually break through at this moment? A couple Corrosive Vials come down.
There's so many Archons in this mix with the Chargelets. He doesn't have +2 attack just yet. And the Phoenixes are doing absolutely nothing right now. I don't think they have
They might be.
energy.
Yeah, I think you're right. They probably are out of energy right there. A lot of corrosive biles coming out. Oops. A little bit of mess up there by the observer. But that's all right. We do have these Phoenixes flying into the back row, picking up anything that they can, trying to add their damage in here as well. To be honest, the Archon's not really doing it for me personally there, but he had a lot of gas, so I kind of get it.
Well, look at this, a giant warp into Stalkers now with Blink. He doesn't quite have +2 just yet, but
he's broken the back of this army and taken out his 4th base is meaning that Deer likely is going to be able to take this game.
Down goes the 4th base. And so many Immortals in the mix as well are just help bolstering this army. Immortals are just so good in the Protoss army in general now.
Yeah.
Against really any composition. They're so bulky.
Totally.
They do a lot of damage against really anything. And
yeah, they don't even need their +1 armor. Like, they still are pretty sick as far as damage output. And that's it. GG. And Jin Air having a very hard time in Legacy of the Void, man. It continues. Trap falls, Rogue falls, Maru and SOS are MIA.
I don't know what's going on, man. But Deer will move on to the round of 8 with another 2-0 over the Jin Air player.
Yeah. You know, I think Deer played really quite well. Definitely showed better games than against ByuN. And Rogue and ByuN are definitely 2 like top 5 Zergs in the world. So definitely we see like an improvement. His strategy seemed a little bit tighter this time. I really like those 7 Phoenixes like you were talking about.
And
cool stuff.
It really ties into what you were saying early on as well. Just getting the early Stargate really makes it hard for their Zerg to say, okay, I'm going to overwhelm him with mutas now. Because it's, you know, you could go into a much later game, try to get Parasitic Bomb out as well if you go into Hive, but the Phoenixes, 7 of them in the sky, they could just fly around the Zerg's base with all this freedom and catch a lot of the mutas. It's very risky for the Zerg to use those mutas if they want to.
Absolutely, and that just gives the Protoss so much more freedom. So really excited to see Protoss is really evolving right now. You know, like a week ago or 2 weeks ago, Protosses were having a hard time against Zerg. Now it seems like it's shifting a little bit with the types of moves that Hero has been showing off. Like, Protosses are kind of learning, and that's the beauty of the preseason.
Yeah. To all the balance whiners, stay tuned. We're still figuring things out. Don't say that one race is overpowered over another just yet. Things can change within the span of a week or 2, as you said.
Absolutely, and I think it will continue to do so. We're going to go ahead and jump to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, it's going to be jjakji against Solar.
Wasted time, I still regret. If we forgive and forget, I'll hold you in my arms, hold you in my arms. If the tides change, let them change. If it hurts, I'll share the pain. When the clouds break, I will hold you in my arms, hold you in my arms. And oh, I always wanted to belong. To belong, will you stay with me tonight? 'Cause I'm tired of saying goodbye. You're the truth I can't deny, and I'll never let you go.
It's jingle belling and everyone telling you be of good cheer. It's the most wonderful time of the year. It's the happiest season of all. With those holiday greetings and gay happy meetings when friends come to call. It's the happiest season of all. There'll be parties for hosting, marshmallows for toasting, and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time of the year. marshmallows for toasting and caroling out in the snow. There'll be scary ghost stories and tales of the glories of Christmases long, long ago. Long ago. It's the most wonderful time of the year. There'll be much mistletoeing and hearts will be glowing when loved ones are near. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The most wonderful time of the year.
I'm driving home for Christmas. I can't wait to see those faces. I'm driving home for Christmas, yeah. Well, I'm moving down that line, yeah. And it's been so long that I will be there. I sing this song to pass the time away. Driving in my car, driving home for Christmas. It's gonna take some time, but I'll get there. Yeah. Top to toe and T-Bex. Oh, I got red lights all around, but soon there'll be a freeway. Get my feet on hollow ground. So I sing for you, though you can hear me when I get through. And I feel you near me. I'm driving home for Christmas. Driving home for Christmas with 1,000 memories. I take a look at the driver next to me. It's just the same, just the same. The void beckons.
All right, welcome back, guys. Hope you're enjoying your Christmas Eve with us. It's been a good one so far. We've had 3 interesting matches. Rogue maybe a little bit off in some of those games in that last
I think
series.
for sure. I think he just needs more time to figure out how to, I don't know, how to play in Legacy of the Void. It just seemed like he was off his game. Like that didn't even look like Rogue, to be honest.
And yeah, it was a little bit weird, and I don't know. In a more figured out meta, I think he does better anyways because he's so good at planning matches and really getting into his opponent's head in that way. But yeah, he's not going to get that free seed. Hopefully he gets into the. I think he's already in the Code 8 qualifiers, so that's good. We do have an event coming up, guys, an offline event. And that is actually going to be not tomorrow, but the day after tomorrow. We're going to have the studio open, and so you can definitely come down for that. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be giving away some Legacy of the Void limited editions, like the big box one.
Oh, yeah.
You and I have that one.
Yes,
We love this game. And then, you know what? If you're not lucky and you don't win that, we're still giving away Legacy of the Void anyways. And you know what? If you're watching this and you're in Seoul, maybe you already have the game, but give it to your friend.
Yeah. Introduce someone to StarCraft. That's the best Christmas
Play
gift
Archon mode with them.
ever.
Seriously. And it's the day after Christmas, so it's on sale. It's free. So just come down to the studio on Saturday. That's going to be a lot of fun. It's the normal time. Samsung Station, exit 1, walk straight to the end of the street. It's the building on your right. It says AfreecaTV on the sign. Floor 2, go. Do that. It's going to be a lot of fun there for that top 4. And it's 3 great matches. 2 best of 5s for the round of 4, and then the finals, which is best of 5.
Yeah, that should be very exciting. That'll be you and Wolf casting that one, I think. So yeah, should be a lot of fun.
Indeed.
I would say you guys should definitely come down and watch that.
Yeah, and who will be in it in that round of 4? We're not sure yet, but one of them may be Solar, who's playing next against jjakji.
One of them will be Solar.
Probably.
In the semifinals, I think so.
I would think so. Now, he lost in the first round last week to Dark. Just 2-1, Dark 2-1.
ZVZ, it's Dark, you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a reasonable loss, but it was his first in Legacy of the Void. Like, he won Shoutcraft. He won some other online cups and stuff, I'm pretty sure. He won DreamHack. He's already in SSL. Like, he was in last week. That was his first real match loss.
Yeah.
So this guy is really unbelievably good at Legacy of the Void. He looks fantastic. So I'm expecting him to probably go all the way this time, to be honest.
Yeah. He is going to be up against jjakji, a guy who recently moved over to KT Rolster as a new Terran added to their lineup. So we'll see how he does. What these 2 players do.
Yeah. Let's see how this one goes. Down in the bottom left, our new addition to KT replacing Flash is jjakji.
The replacement. And up here in the top left, the Red Zerg. One of the best, if not the best, so far for Legacy of the Void. It is Solar.
I can hear the nerds at home. Now Artos's Flash isn't replaceable. Merry Christmas, nerd.
Someone's got to make a post.
Yeah.
A really angry one. Link it to you.
Well,
that'll be your Christmas gift.
That'll be my thanks, guys.
You're like, I gotta block someone else again? Like, oh.
Like, yeah.
This affects my life.
This is my life. But yeah, I mean, jjakji, actually, it makes sense that he's doing reasonably well so far in Legacy, because he is a player that, when you think about his style, right, he's always been very good at, like, managing his units and tactical type plays. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah. In the preseason preliminary, looks like jjakji only faced Protosses, won 3 out of 4 of those sets, and Solar was able to defeat Life, one of those preliminaries.
Yeah, pretty strong there. So, let's see. It looks like just a Reaper expand here for jjakji. In the meantime, Solar looks like he's just going to be getting probably quicker Zergling speed here with his expansion. These are really, really common openings right now for these two, so no surprise here.
Yep. Sending over this SCV first. Is going to find the Zerg, sees the exact build that is coming down. And then we'll follow up with the pressure. This so far doesn't look really all too different from what we're used to.
Go for SC2 Cup Europe number 329.
Whoa.
That's a lot of Go for SC2 Cups. Like, it was, I remember it being around during the beta, but if there's one a week, the beta came out in the early, like,
2010.
February 2010.
Yeah.
Is that enough weeks? There's 52 weeks in a year. You're smart.
5 years is 260.
How do they have that many cups then?
Radio silence for 10 seconds.
No, I mean, guys, listen.
Someone figure this out. Usually, when we can't figure things out, the
internet
call
can,
out to the internet.
How could this
Please,
be, guys?
Help us out.
All right, my Protoss ponytail just lit up towards the end because I'm asking the nerds out there.
Not the other direction, because then you'd be sending the message, or you'd be receiving. You'd be receiving.
Exactly. You guys are receiving my Protoss message right now. But anyways, just I don't know how there'd be that many Go for SC2 Cups.
Maybe they did 2 a week for a while. Wasn't there like an NA and an EU one?
That's at Europe though. This is specifically Europe.
Oh, okay.
If it was like combined, I could live with that. But that's not the answer. Anyways, here we are in a game that's not an SC2 Cup. This is going to be what season of GSL? I don't know, like 30-something.
Yeah. I think it would have been fun if we did it by numbers, but then you have the problem with, the Go for XC2 Cups where it's like, oh, it's number 376, and it's like, well, yeah, I won Go for XC2 Cup number 222. Do you remember me? It's like, no.
Yeah.
And then it'll be like, well, do you remember who won GSL 25? It's like, no. But I know who won 2013 Season 3.
Yeah, that's going to be much easier. You're right. Good call there.
I don't know. I think people have different thoughts about that. Like, if you talk to Wolf, I think he thinks the opposite way. I'm not 100%.
He's wrong. I'll let him know tomorrow. It's
I think he's
you
listening
shouldn't do
right
numbers. That's
now.
silly. You're wrong, Wolf. Stop being a dummy. So I don't even think that Brendan made that up. But yeah, I mean, it's. I wonder if there will ever be 300 GSLs.
Maybe someday. Yeah.
You know how old I'm going to be when we get that high? Oh my god. I'm going to be like about to die if we hit GSL 300.
Well, we're up to like 35 now, right?
Yeah. So we'd have to multiply the amount of time by 10.
How many years?
Oh no, I'll still
GSL?
be alive. Yeah. It's been like 5 years.
Yeah.
But we
So,
started
yeah.
out with like 4 or 5 a year. Now this year is only like 2.
Yeah, that's
Oh
true.
yeah, no, I'm going to be like 180 at this rate. All right, anyways, here we go. We have Cloak, Banshee, and Hellions here, looking kind of like a normal old school game.
Yeah, you need a couple of those Banshees.
Mm-hmm.
See the
Ranged
second
attack. Ranged attack here from Solar. By the way, guys, if you want to learn about Legacy of the Void Zerg, this is definitely a Zerg that you should be watching.
I think
had
this
the most
is the
success.
Zerg to watch, in fact.
Agreed.
He's the guy on top of his game. He's winning everything. He's got the best builds. And seems like he's the most prepared for the expansion in general, or he was. So, yeah, definitely check him out. Tell your friends, your Zerg friends to watch this.
Yeah.
Tell your Terran friends to watch this. Tell your Protoss friends to watch this.
Ooh. Yeah, even the Protoss want to see this one. Just seeing what Solar is going to do here, it looks like obviously he's going for like a heavy layer-based army, I would say. Probably Ravager Roach, which is, it can be quite a strong composition. Obviously, medevac drops are going to be like a reasonable type of counter to this because it's hard to actually chase those down. But, I mean, something like, for instance, this base is not going to go up if he does a full all-out attack. Like, right now, the type of army jjakji has should not be able to hold on against an all-out attack by Solar with Roach Ravager.
Look at how many tumors are going down there. Solar's not messing around. And this would be the perfect time for jjakji to get up there in front and try to put on some pressure, deny those creep tumors.
Yeah, and, well, 4 active tumors do remain. He sees a lot of Ravagers actually being made, so this should cue him that an attack is on the way. Now, the double medevac coming out, this might force Solar to go back home, because it's so many units, but it looks like he's actually moving some units over. He split some off.
I don't like this idea. It ties into what you were saying before about, when they don't have the mutas out, you can go for drops like this, but if you're prepared even with just a small amount of roaches and you send the rest of your army to go attack, you're going to kill that third base. You're going to at least deny it for a very long time. Look at this.
And he does deny it, but look at this. The roaches take a while to get up there. I guess unloading this many Marines takes a while as well, though.
Yeah.
Going to go ahead and try to drop over here. We have that Spore and Queen actually doing some good work.
Seems like he's having trouble this time around. Roach is not in position. I hope he's still got some in the main. Doesn't look like he does, but jjakji just going to back off for now, it seems.
Yeah, now this is kind of the problem. Like, this is a very powerful unit composition, the Roach Ravager, especially early on here when you're not playing against things like siege tanks or liberators or anything like that. But, this is the problem with it, is these medevacs flying around. And I've seen people deal with it different ways. Some people have tried to go Corruptor with this. Some people have transitioned into a Mutalisk based composition like Mutaling Bane after going for this unit composition. I've even seen a few choice Zergs go for just a small amount, like maybe 3 Infestors to lock down those medevacs so Corrosive Vials can clear them out. So, but Solar's not doing that. He's just macroing Roach Ravager, and it looks like I think he wants to just go for the kill.
He just has so much stuff right now. He's maxed out. The upgraded Roaches into Ravagers are going to be just really strong in general. Just adding them into your army. And he looks like, once again, he's going to have trouble with just one small drop here. Brings the majority of his army back. Or actually, not the majority, just a decent amount back to deal with that.
Enough to deal with it. That's all he really needs. He doesn't need to crush the drop. He just needs to not take a ton of damage. And here we go. A lot of Corrosive Vials coming down. jjakji micros forward. Corrosive Vials all over the place. Tons of damage done here. No way he's going to hold right there.
Yeah, tanks are all the way back on top of the ramp here at the natural as well. Has to lift the orbital here, loses all the SCPs, and jjakji's desperately trying to hold this off, but having a very hard time of doing so.
Yeah, look at this. He is marching right up into this natural base area, and the Corrosive Vial countdowns just keep on coming. Continuing to bomb all over the place. jjakji with a piddly army compared to what he's fighting against.
I think he just needs more tanks in this mix. He took way too much damage from the bios on the big clump of his bio there.
Continue to poke here and deal more damage. Solar does have fourth base. Nothing there mining yet, but just something to keep in mind. He can go ahead and mine there pretty soon. Here he goes, actually pushing back onto these Siege Chinks now, force them to be lifted. Actually gets one of them. Very strong move. Starting to shove up the ramp. The Siege Chinks are repositioned, but that's it. GG. All right, well, Solar just punching a hole through jjakji there. Oh my god.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of what I expected, to be honest. jjakji did not have a very memorable 2015 for Heart of the Swarm. He comes in here onto a new team. He's in a totally new environment, and he's still learning this stuff, whereas Solar is on top of the world right now for StarCraft 2. He makes it look incredibly easy, just making only Roach Ravager. I think he had +2. It's like very heavy ranged attack upgrades pretty early on, and I think he also had +1 armor with that as well, and he just makes Roach Ravager and kills the Terran. I mean, on that map, in those positions, you can do that. They are relatively close, so.
Yeah, that was, it was well done. I mean, it didn't look like it was anything too special. He's like, okay, I have enough drones. Now I make the Roaches and Ravagers, and now I go attack. And it's like, well, I mean, that was a very powerful attack when you look at it. And I think that maybe the hard part of that was him splitting his Roaches correctly, because the drops that jjakji did, they looked like they should do some damage against someone going Roach, but he really negated all that damage very well.
There was the one drop at the third that delayed some mining time. He killed like 4 drones, but even then it wasn't enough damage for 2 medevacs to be back there. There was a lot of his army that wasn't there to defend the push that came right after that drop, and he was forced to lift that third base. He didn't really have a mining third base for quite a long time in that game.
Yeah, well, we'll see if jjakji can do a bit better here, but Solar definitely the favorite coming into this match.
6.
All right, in the bottom left, getting Shrek'd in that last game is jjakji.
And up here in the top right, the best Zerg so far, it is Solar up a game in the red.
Yeah. Again, wouldn't be too surprised if he ends up winning this season the way he's been playing lately.
Yeah, just looking very dominant so far, at least. Not having to deal with the ZVZ. I think he does have to go up against Deer next.
Oh, okay.
Just with the way that the brackets work out, right?
You could be right about that. I actually didn't check.
Because it just looks like a regular,
Deer looked great.
Bracket.
Deer looked really great, so that could be a good
Especially
match.
against Zerg, that's definitely one to watch.
They're the same team, though, which might make it like a little bit mind-gamey, but I don't know. I think we still had some good matches. Because the game is so new, I don't know if mind games work as well. Anyways, that would be a nice match, and I tell you, I would pay money to watch Zest versus Solar.
Yeah.
Or Hero versus Solar. Like, I'm loving the way Zest is approaching Legacy of the Void. He's not as good as Hero right now, and it seems like Hero has slightly better builds, but Zest's style is like, I enjoy. It tickles the funny bone in my brain.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't make sense. That would be pain, but yeah. Anyways.
It's true. It definitely looks like he's got some fun stuff, but unfortunately he does get knocked out by MyuNgSIK this time around.
Yeah.
Gonna have to wait for more other tournaments until we do see Zest a bit more. Did not make it into SSL.
Yeah, that's quite a shame. But you know what? I think that probably both these guys will be in Code S.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be kind of surprised if Zest doesn't get through Code A. Yeah. But we'll see. I mean, Code A is really tough. If you get the wrong match, like one of the top 8 guys, ooh. It's a tough one. Ooh.
Yeah.
All right, so here we are. It's exactly the same opening.
Yep, nothing different so far.
Yeah.
This Reaper's getting a lot of damage. Not sure where the Queen is at. Still being made, it seems.
It's pretty decent, decent work here with that Reaper. That Queen now, he's gonna have to back up and let it heal up a bit.
Yeah. Just making one Reaper here. Gonna go into Hellions once again. As you said, nothing looking really different in this game. He is gonna make a faster third command center this time around.
That was a nice catch on that Overlord for sure.
Oh man.
Always fun to kill an Overlord early on. Very frustrating for the Zerg player. And this is where we kind of wait.
Yeah.
The economy building up phase for both players. Doesn't matter how many workers you start with. This matchup is basically going to look like this 90% of the time.
Yeah.
So it seems.
I'm very excited to see how ZVT is going to turn out. And, you know, after all, like once the builds are totally figured out, because I think ZVT was the best matchup for part of the Swarm, and even Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, you could be right there.
PV2 was also pretty fun for Wings, but
I liked in Heart of the Swarm. At the end of it, I liked all the matchups pretty well. I liked it better before the Storm Host changes, but the only match I was kind of frustrated with was ZVZ, because like a lot of the time it was just roaches walking back and forth, someone taking like a dumb concave or something.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
you take one bad
Ew.
fight, you lose. And
Yeah. But
who got a
definitely-
little bit more damage earlier on will have the advantage in the mid game, and it's not going to matter all that much.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
right now, this is actually quite a nice scout, seeing that, in fact, Cloak is being upgraded there on that starport.
Yeah.
It's a very valuable scout.
Let's see if he sees the EBAs. I don't believe. Oh, I
think he saw one.
Yeah, I think he saw one. But is not going to see two. And
Guess-
the Liberator is coming out this time. I'm not sure. Did he cancel the cloak?
He did, yeah. So, you know, the Overlord sees it. It's like maybe 50-50. Terran's canceled a lot of the time, and it was like not even far along, so I'm not surprised about that cancel. But let's watch this Liberator in action and see if, you know, Solar, or not Solar, but rather jjakji, knows about how to push the Liberator backwards from its liberation zone.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff to think about with Liberators right now. That, as well as what we saw to TY on this exact map. Cutting it in half, making SimCity in the middle of the map.
Yeah.
Using that Dusk Tower to cut it in half.
That Tower of Dusk.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Dusk isn't
Uh-oh.
not a noun like that.
Boy. That Banshee almost went down. Only getting 2 kills, not all that much damage.
And we do have that quick Spire. It is still on the way here. But of course, that means his upgrades are way far behind where jjakjis are going to be. You know, those Evos always going to come later when you're going for the very fast Mutalisk type tech.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, against like a Cloaked Banshee opening, the quick Mutalisk tech I think is a great choice. You just kind of like shut off all the harassment they could do, and it's going to be a while before jjakji has like a scary looking army. So we can see Solar, you know, he can focus on doing things like getting upgrades, spending on heavy tech units, and droning up, of course.
Today I learned that the attack for the Liberator is called Lexington Rockets.
Lexington Rockets.
Yeah, I
Never would have ever known that. I will
Unless-
cast this game for 100 years and never would have looked at
Yeah,
that.
I mean, this is the first time that the Observer hovered over it. I made a lot of Liberators in my time playing this game, but I didn't know what it was called until now. So there you guys have it. It's called
So
Lexington Rockets.
Lexington, right?
Yeah, Lexington.
Okay. I'll try to use that. That's the anti-air, right?
Can you hover again? Can you
I
hover
would love
us?
for him to. I want to see what his what the ground attack is called. That's definitely not a Lexington rocket. I know
It's a
what
Freedom
Lexington
rocket.
rockets look like.
Freedom Laser. I don't know what those things are.
Charged by the tears of Zerg and
Every other race.
Protoss.
Well, 9 mutas out here going to do a nice bit of harass on this gas. should be able to, well, nice repair coming down here, not going to kill the refinery.
Still a very annoying situation for him. And actually the Muta is walking back the wrong way. And it looks like the Lexing Rocket going to do some damage there to that Mutalisk.
Lexington Rocket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best. It's hard to say that quickly in the hype of the battle.
And they're still chasing. And these Mutas got to be very careful. We do have Baneling Speed already finished, getting that +1 to everything right now, except air armor, I suppose, for the Zerg.
A lot of Speedlings out on the map right now. He's got to be careful. Doesn't want to be thrown away too much. He's like keeping Solar busy right now, I guess, which is nice, but...
He's getting a pretty good trade against these lanes.
Yeah, he really is. By the way, 2-2 is going to be finished up pretty quickly here for jjakji, so he's really been on top of those upgrades. 1-1 just now finishing, so this is the small amount of time where Solar is actually going to have the same upgrades.
Big scan going down here, going to clean up a lot of these active tumors, and shut down that creep spread.
Well, that fourth base is up in mining. Can he get rid of it? This has really been something that we've seen the last week or so.
Yeah, but unfortunately he gets here before, like, after the Zerg is totally finished with it. And look at that, the Widow Mines go forward, get all blown up, and now he's got no Widow Mines.
Yeah, and in fact, I believe his Hellbat's gone as well. It looks like he does try to do a counterattack here. Not going to be able to do anything, though. A little bit wasteful on that Marauder. A lot of speed banes. I just don't think he's going to be able to do this.
Well, really nice spread here from jjakji, and he cleans up all the banes except that small patch in the back, and he's got so many of these Marines left over, and they're very heavily upgraded.
Never mind, I take that back. He's doing actually a very good job. Some of them actually connect right there, but 3 Liberators here, way more units coming up as well. Looks like Solar's just putting all his eggs in one basket, in that counterattack basket.
Yeah. Into the counterattack basket he goes, and it falls over. GG.
Yeah.
jjakji winning game number 2, staying in this one.
Yeah, that was kind of interesting. I mean, he had 2-2, which is actually very important. He had a pretty good unit composition, kind of interesting, keeping that many Liberators. Wasn't even putting him in Liberation mode.
Yeah, and really
Solar.
nice splits there with the attack. I think the defense from Solar was kind of lackluster as well. He didn't have the necessary upgrades either.
Yeah, he had a bunch of his units actually over on the other side trying to do counterattacks, but jjakji was very on top of watching that come in, making sure his depots were up when they needed to be, making sure his units were stimmed when they needed to be.
Yeah.
And Solar
didn't
was
just
able to
rally
find a way.
across the map as well. He bunched up a decent amount of units. He saw those units very early on, and he knew the Mutas were still out on the map with a small group of links, so he's like, okay, I could just wait here, have the majority of my army out pressuring the 4th, and just rally a decent amount of Marines and a couple of Liberators, and that will be definitely enough against that small of an army.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of surprising. I thought that, especially after that first game, but I guess first games can be deceiving, that Solar would be able to clean jjakji up, but jjakji playing quite well. Very good multitasking there as well. So let's see. We're going into our third game. It's going to be on Prion Terraces. It's kind of...
Yeah, and jjakji's not playing Protoss, so he can't really take much from the trap game.
Yeah,
against
no,
Armani.
certainly not. But, you know, Reaper-type play can be very good here, especially if the Zerg tries to take that early gold. We've seen some great games from some of our other Terrans, kind of utilizing all the places that Reapers can jump up and jump down around that gold base. So, what is Solar going to do? Do you think he'll take the quick gold here?
I think he will. He definitely strikes me as that kind of guy. He could even just put on the pressure, go for some kind of 2-base pressure from the Zerg. But I wonder what jjakji's going to do. He doesn't really strike me as that kind of guy to go like ByuN style, 5 racks Reaper, 3 racks Reaper first, and try to put on that huge amount of pressure with the Reapers. Don't recall seeing him do that in my time watching him. But it could be proven wrong here. Let's find out.
All right.
6.
Oh, well, there's always this. All right, in the top left, our Terran player showing a surprising amount of skill in that last game. It's jjakji.
And down here in the bottom right in the red, the Zerg player getting cheesed. It is Solar.
And that is double barracks on the way.
Oh, this Overlord might spot it. No, just barely not.
Yeah, skirting that Overlord. It's important.
Oh, but really early scout from Solar.
Indeed.
I like this a lot.
It's well hidden barracks, but, I think he'll be fine. It's not like he can send a drone over to cancel any of this or anything like that. And he's going to know immediately. He's going to look at that and say, okay, this is at least one proxy racks, and I think that Solar, as good as he is, he knows it's two.
Yeah, and it seems like he was very prepared for this. Does not go for the gold, goes for his own natural, and is just going to try to defend it and go from there.
Well, you know what? This makes so much sense, because if you take the gold against a build like this when they're this close, between jumping up into the main base and hitting that gold, it's going to be so much harder to defend. But with this early drone scout, for just a small cost, he was able to put his hatchery in the right place. That gives him an advantage going into this.
Yeah, and jjakji is going to know that he has been scouted. Still going to go with the build, of course. You can't exactly go back on this once you've come this far. He's going to have 2 SCVs here. He could try to bunker, I suppose.
Yeah,
But
definitely. He could like maybe put it over where the Reapers jump up or something like that. We've definitely seen that from time to time on this map. But he's so on top of this SCV, he's not going to let that happen easily. The Reaper is going to have to at least escort the SCV to be able to do it.
Yeah. There is the first bunker coming down on the edge of the creep. And already one drone getting to work. The Reaper jumping up, going to push away this drone.
All right. And does start throwing down his grenade. More and more Reapers on the way. A bunch of Lings. Oh, some nice micro here, actually, from jjakji right now. He's got to be careful. Does not want to lose a Reaper. That would actually be absolutely terrible for him.
Second Reaper coming in, going to push away these Lings. And that bunker getting very close to completing here.
All right, it looks like he is starting to pick off these Lings quicker and quicker. And in fact, a couple grenades does pick off a drone there, too. The 3, actually, right now.
Oh, this control out of jjakji is just so good. He's picking off so many of these Lings, and just the continuous production of the Reapers coming up here. It's going to be harder and harder for Solar to deal with this.
Yeah, he's going to need that Zergling speed to finish. It's not even halfway done quite yet. This Queen is taking a lot of damage, and the Queen actually falls very quickly.
Yeah, not pushing the Lings forward to help out the Queen. Queen eating all of the damage, and now with 4 Reapers out here, he doesn't even really need to kite. He could just fight straight up against these Lings. Oh, really nice control there as well. Pulling back that weakened Reaper. And here come the grenades.
And a little bit of delay on the second and third grenade there, not getting as much as he wanted, but continuing to deal lots of damage. Another Queen does pop out. Speed is going to finish up pretty quickly here, but he's already done a lot of damage. And look at that. Oh, man, even killing a lot of larvae here, that's actually super painful. He needs as many Lings as he can get.
Yeah. And with 2 more Reapers about to pop, there's the speed. He's trying to get back to that bunker. Looks like 1 Reaper's going to go down.
Okay. Okay, that is a start at least. More Lings being produced. We actually have a counterattack going on right now that we aren't showing you, but I think it's just a handful of Lings at the
that
depots.
was a mistake.
Oh
He
my
pushed
god!
Ever so slightly too far forward, and he loses, I think, a couple of Reapers there. Here's the counterattack. Continuous repairs have to come out of jjakji to stop that.
Yeah, that might have actually taken his attention for a moment, which could have allowed that Reaper Shrine as well. We're not completely sure, but you know what? Solar's actually dealt with this quite well so far. He's way down in drones, which kind of sucks, but...
Oh, that was really close as well. Almost lets the Lings in.
Ling's going to hightail it out of here now with the Reapers coming back. But, you know, I would say overall this was pretty successful by jjakji, to be honest. Keeping that drone count so low, killing multiple Queens, killing like infinity Zerglings there, and forcing so many Zerglings out, which, will those Zerglings actually be able to do anything now, I think is a big part of the question here.
Almost getting a kill. That would have been something, I suppose. Scan comes down, he sees the damage. There's no Queen, there's barely any drones at the natural. Can reasonably assume that there is no other expansion right now. Can send out Reapers if he wants to go scouts as well, but he has to be careful. Definitely wants to keep them grouped up against a bunch of Lings with speed.
And look at this, 4 bunkers being created. I love this play. That's awesome to see the bunkers. Like, he's playing so safe. Now, here's the thing. He shouldn't be doing it. It would be much better if he didn't, but I love the thought process behind it where he's like, okay, I feel like I did so much damage. I just got to make sure I don't die right now, because I think you're probably going to all-in me. You saw there's still a lot of Speedlings. A lot of Zergs have chosen to do like all-in type of maneuvers against stuff like this.
Yeah, I think he thinks that a Painling and the bus is coming in. He's got so many of those buildings bunched up in the back with the bunkers really spread out. But beginning to realize that there is no kind of all-in coming in here. He scans again, sees that there are a lot more drones this time around at the natural, says, okay, you're going into lair, you're not going to all-in me yet.
Well, he has a lot of Reapers. He actually is kind of doing that ByuN type thing. You know, it's not 5 racks right at the moment because like a couple of them are floating back still, but that's a lot of Reapers to deal with.
Yeah. I'd love to see a unit tab, see exactly how many. It looks like about 12, or maybe like 10.
Oh, and look at this, trying to flank, and it looks like he gets a couple of them.
Yeah,
actually, really well done there.
It's really hard to control all those Reapers and just make sure they all get out and then attack with the ones that jump down with that vision. But really nice surround there by Solar to catch 2 of them.
Yeah, Solar really has stabilized here. He's, you know, he's still behind as far as the worker count goes, and it's 2 base versus 2 base, so that's not good. But considering how much damage he took early on, he's kind of getting himself into a position where if jjakji makes a mistake, Solar might be able to capitalize and kill him.
Yeah. This is that moment in time we saw ByuN actually do this, where he sacrificed all of his Reapers at one point, and he killed like a ton of Lings and a bunch of drones and a couple of Queens, but then he lost the majority of his force, and then a counterattack came out of the Zerg. I forget who it was, and he just lost the game.
Yeah, it's definitely something you have to watch out for. Oh, we do have that Roach speed as well as range attack on the way. He's taking that gold base that's over on the side. That's a lot less easy for jjakji to attack, considering the type of army that he has right now, especially. So that's like a really smart base for Solar to be taking.
Yeah. Nice timing on the scout here by jjakji. He's going to spot that 3rd base getting up right now. He's going to know exactly how far along Solar is.
Well, let's see here. Just kind of sitting back very defensively right now as jjakji. Doesn't want to keep his Reapers on the map, and I kind of like what you said about how ByuN messed up by losing them all. Like, the Reapers, any sort of all-in or crazy attack that comes, the Reapers can retreat very quickly, jump up walls. Grenades mess up those attacks very much, so kind of cool that he's being really hyper-careful with them.
Yeah. Look at his units, 11 Reapers, almost as many Reapers as Marines.
More Reapers than there are Roaches.
Yeah. Well, that link could have blocked, actually, to be really annoying, but either way.
Yeah, it does have that gold base.
Yeah, we have a 2nd factory being made at the same time.
Yeah, he's not screwing around against this type of play anymore from Solar, it looks like. Like, the fact that Solar bowled him over on there like Crest with so many Roaches and Ravagers, if you have a lot of siege tanks and you have a few medevacs to help micro them around against the Crosiviles, then you're going to do a much better job at actually holding on against this.
Oh, I like this small kind of counterattack coming into the gold. The Reaper's just slightly out of position, going to delay the mining time for a very long time. And here comes the attack. jjakji does spot this coming, and it looks like he's just going to back off for now. Yeah,
look at that. He just floats right away. He has the bunkers. He has some siege tanks on the high ground. This isn't going to do anything against him. In fact, Solar is already pulling back his army, realizing, oh, okay, if he pulled back like that, this is not going to... You can't walk up that hill. That is, like, so fortified.
And we see he takes the 4th base right away. Is he going to transition into any kind of higher tech, or is he going to stay on the Roach Ravager Ling for a very long time again? I think he's identified the fact that we do have lots of tanks coming out. I'm not sure, though, because you do have to be careful. Once that tank count gets really high, like 9 or 10, this kind of composition with this many Roaches is not going to do too well.
Yeah, it gets pretty scary, actually, especially if the Terran is very good at moving those medevacs and dodging those biles. So, look at this. We have the Reapers in the army. I've always wanted to see something like this.
He forgot combat shields. It's being...
You are correct about that.
It's being researched right now, 10 minutes into the game. That's like it's a Valdez move there. We do that from time to time.
Sure, absolutely.
That's quite unfortunate.
Oh, wow.
Either way, he's got the tanks.
Yeah. A little bit of a wasteful push right there. And now the unit's kind of out of position. We might see some damage done with those medevacs.
Especially to this 4th base. It seems like the units are coming back now. Some damage is going to be done. He's going to try to lift into the main, but waiting are a bunch of Ravagers. This is a cute little spot.
Well,
getting Overlord.
You know, this is going so much better for jjakji this game. Like, the Reaper opening definitely gave him an advantage, but Beyond that, strategically, he's playing it much better than he played on Lilac Crest.